So, Mark, thank you very much for coming up here.
Pleasure.
Now, just, guys, I know the clocks went forward, so we all lost an hour, but who had a bit of a lie-in? Did anyone have a lie-in this morning? Did anyone get up? Did anyone get up really early and run a half marathon? Well done. Oh, Nicky, he did last week as well. So, Mark, tell us about your day.
Well, clocks went forward, so we put the children at Nana and Granddad's house. We were up at 6, had to pick up a couple of runners and drive to Hampton Court Palace.
Runners. Tell us about, what do you mean runners?
Well, a couple of members of our little running club.
Oh, okay. Right. So we go before we do talk about your day. Let's talk about a bit about you. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. You are from Basingstoke? Or
Yep. I've tried to escape many times, but it's not happening. Yep.
So you're born and bred Basingstoke.
Yep.
Which school did you go to?
Richard Allworth.
Or any other apart from me? Any other Richard Allworth people here? No. Oh, that's good. There's only 2.
Yep.
So we are the only 2 left in Basingstoke.
There we go.
So, now, you, a couple of years ago, you decided to take up running, didn't you?
Well, I used to run a lot when I was younger.
We always used to do that,
yeah,
didn't we?
And then my wife entered me into the Basingstoke Half Marathon when it started in 2011.
So your wife entered you into the Basingstoke Marathon.
Yep.
Did she tell you before she entered?
No, she wanted to raise money for a charity.
Did she take out some life insurance a couple of weeks beforehand?
Well, no, not quite, no. But it was her that collapsed at mile 10 and I didn't get to finish it. Because it was a year where there was a ridiculous heat wave in October like you get in the UK, and it was about 30 degrees. And the Basingstoke Half Marathon course is particularly hilly, and she made me do all the hills, and we only had the downhill bit to go, and she collapsed like Mike Tyson had punched her, and we did the last 3 miles in the back of an ambulance.
That's my idea of running a half marathon, is
so
the whole half marathon.
Obviously, after that experience, the natural next step is to want to start a running club. No?
Hang on a second. So let me get this straight. Your wife enters you for a half marathon.
Yep.
You run the half marathon. She collapses, and then you want to start a running club.
So I didn't get to finish it. So I had unfinished business.
Okay.
And my wife and I used to run, and she was doing the school run one day, and some of the mums said, I wish I could run like you. And one Sunday night, she just looked at me and said, I think we should start a running club. And I was just like, one of her ideas. I let it float, and then it would float out the window.
So this was Hatch Warren
Runners. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that, because it's an amazing story, isn't it?
Yep. I mean, it's literally just 2 years ago, the start of this month. It was her idea, then she just gave it to me to do. So I set up a Facebook group, and I invited all my friends I knew that liked running. They invited all their friends, and we set a date, and 10 people turned up. And then, it was all sorts of abilities, so some people could run the full 3 miles, 6 miles, but then we'd help each other around and support each other. Within a month, we were getting 25 people, then 30, and then a couple of months, we were up to 50. And we were like, this was only supposed to be a bit of fun, but in this day and age, you've got to look after yourself. So I phoned the Association of Running Clubs, and they said you should register. Didn't cost very much money. Within a year, we had 100 people turning up.
100 people?
Yep.
So it's 100 people. And so what kind of running... I mean, a stupid question, what kind of running do you? Because obviously what kind of running... But do you... That's not the question. Came out wrong, didn't it? Oh, you can see often I run, can't you? I don't even know what it is. So, what's the structure of the club? I mean, do you all turn up and run like 20 miles, or how does it work?
No, I mean, we were just making it up as we were going along, really. And then, because it was getting big, we thought we had some great ex-military guys helping us and some PT instructors, but then we managed to get our England Athletics affiliation a year ago, which is a huge thing for a little Tim Pot jogging club, and then we put people on coaching courses, got properly qualified, and the numbers kept going up and up and up, and we've now got 262 runners.
So I'm imagining this is now, if you want to run a club, there's a bit of a labour of love in there. What do you get out of it? Why do you want to carry on? I mean, if you want to go running, you just go running on your own, but why do you want to do this club?
It's a lonely business, running on your own. when we used to train on our own, I used to go out and run 12 miles, come home. Daniela would go out and run 12 miles and come home. And it's tough doing it on your own.
Did you ever really run 12 miles? Did you sort of like
Just
run 3 miles and stop
put
off at
my
a
head
pub?
in a puddle. And yeah. No, I mean, it is a lonely business doing it on your own. And with running, you have good days and you have bad days. And if you're doing it in a pack of half a dozen people, we have a laugh and you're like, oh, we've done 4 miles, you know.
So what do you? So is there anything else you get out of it? I mean, do you see this as kind of a long-term kind of vocation for yourself?
Well, we kind of just started it, and we set it up as an open community project. And we didn't have to ask anyone to help. People would turn up. Oh, look, there's a new person. They'd go and talk to them, find out a bit about their running background, invite them to come along, find someone of a similar pace and ability to run with them. And then the next week, they're going, oh, look, there's a new person, I'll go and talk to them. And we didn't ask anyone to do that. There was just a great community spirit behind it, which is why it grew so big, so quick.
I mean, that was the thing, because I saw your YouTube video that someone had posted, and there was a lot of talk about people that never run before.
Yep.
So is there anybody here that has never really run before and interested in taking up running? So tell us, how does it work? What would you do to encourage somebody to run? I mean, like, take me, for example.
Yep.
If I suddenly said, I want to start running, what would I do?
The big problem most people have is they see that person running and they say, I want to run like him, I want to be as good as him. That's not the case. We're all different shapes, sizes, abilities, got different strengths. So the only person you should be wanting to run as is you, but the best that you can run as.
What happens if I can't run?
Well, there's lots of courses that can help you. Last year, I mean, the running club was established. We could then help complete beginners. We put 100 people through the NHS Couch to 5K course.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's what I was going to ask you. I remember you called it. So what is it? What is the Couch to 5K?
It's basically, I mean, we called it Couch to Park Run because every Saturday morning in the War Memorial Park, there's a 5K park run which is free. You can just turn up, run it. So our goal was to get someone off the settee to be able to run that, and we did it for 100 people last year. It basically, week one...
Hang on a sec. Linda's looking at me going, right, he's going to get off the couch, yeah, right.
But it really works. The first course we did, we had about 30 people sign up, and the first session, you jog for 60 seconds, and then you walk for a minute and a half.
That's quite a long time, 60 seconds,
yeah,
isn't
but
it?
it goes quickly, and then you walk for a minute and a half, and you do that for about 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And you do that 3 times in your first week. Next week, it builds up a little bit more, a little bit more. Each week, you run a little bit more, walk a little bit less, and it really, really works. And we had a PhD lady wanted to do a study on us because she'd heard about us.
PhD?
PhD.
Oh, PhD.
Yeah, she was
sorry,
studying at Guildford University, I think. And she was amazed, because normally when you do these courses, 30 people start and 5 finish. We had about 90...
What happened to the other 25? Did they?
Well, exactly. Well, we had about 97% completion rate.
Wow, that's incredible.
She was gobsmacked, because it was the community spirit behind it. And we graduated these 30 people at Park Run. Everyone saw them. And then immediately we did another course. And the people that had just graduated wanted to naturally pay it forward and help the next course. So when you're thinking, I can't do this, and you're running next to someone who was thinking that 3 months ago, and they're saying, you can do this, and that's the way we got 100 people last year.
So on the video, what it kind of explained, or what a lot of people spoke about was you guys being a different type of running club, i.e. much more supportive, and much more friendly. Is that kind of your ethos? Is that?
I mean, the reason we set it up was, I mean, there's all different types of running clubs. Some have to be brilliant, and you have to be at a certain standard to run with them because they can't cater for everybody. The whole reason we did it was for these mums at school that couldn't run, and we wanted to remove ability and cost. So in our first year, it cost you £10 a year to run with us.
Oh, okay, that's
and you know, which most people can afford. And if they couldn't, you know, we're not going to not let them run with us.
No, okay. Now the other part I wanted to sort of focus on a little bit was obviously we had the very sad story last year about the young lad, Jaden, and who had a tumour, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, brain tumour.
And one of the reasons that brought your attention to me was the amount of sort of work in terms of fundraising you did for that. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that and how that's kind of...
Jaden's story's on my arm. I mean, I was at work and the first time I read about Jaden's condition, I saw him standing there in my children's school uniform in the class that my children started in, and everything about what I read about what had happened to him and prognosis just screamed, this is so wrong. And I think there's certain times in your life where you'll see something or read something and doing nothing is not an option. And I contacted his dad and I said, look, we've got an army here. We want to help you in any way we can. We'd love to do some fundraising, because they said he's got a year to live. It was as blunt as that. And we said, well, if he's got a year, we're going to make it the best year he can have. So I have lots of little brainwaves, so I decided how much fun would it be to run for 24 hours?
No fun at all, from what I could sense.
No. But the thing was, this was when I realised what the club had become. Because I put a little thing on we run the whole club through Facebook, and I said, who fancies helping me do a 24-hour relay? We were going to run from the Portsmouth Arm pub round the Beggarwood Loop, and Jaden lived in the middle of that for 24 hours. And 69 other people said, yeah, I fancy that.
So that's the point, isn't it? You started a running club, of which there was, which ended up then... And do you know how much money you've raised?
We raised about £5,000, and that triggered something in our community. And obviously he ended up going on the most amazing Florida holiday you can imagine. It was the best hotels, every possible experience you could have. He had his hero was Spider-Man, and his dad's is the Spider Dad YouTube video where he jumps off the roof, and it had about 10 million hits. So we did that, but then we thought, that was the hope for Jaden wristband, and the running club bought and paid for these, and it's our running club colours, blue and yellow. Then it got to the point where he had radiotherapy. There was all sorts of hope, but ultimately it didn't happen. And when we realised there was nothing else we could do to save him, we wanted to do something to help other children in that condition. So I contacted the Children with Cancer UK people, which is the middle wristband, and I said, look, we've got a running club. Can we run for you at the London Marathon? How much money do we need to raise, etc., etc., etc.? And they said that they'd give us 4 spaces for the London Marathon if we could try and raise £10,000. That's a big ask, and I was a bit, ooh. But I knew the success we'd have with the relay the year before. So I said, yep, let's go for it. And we got the London Marathon next month. We managed to get, because we are clubs affiliated, we managed to get 4 club spaces this year, as well as the 4 for there, and about another 6 people have joined with us, and we have raised over £15,000.
That's amazing. That's for Children's Cancer.
Yeah, that's for Children with Cancer UK. We did a similar relay this year, and we are going to do it every year in Jaden's memory, because he died on Christmas Eve.
Yes. Yeah.
So we're going to do that every year. We ran from the Portsmouth Farm pub to Sainsbury's and back, and Sainsbury's thought we were professional fundraisers, because I was just ashamed Danielle couldn't be here tonight, because she's just a natural. And
she's probably planning your next exploit.
Probably,
that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. But we raised about £4,000 just on that, and we did a charity ball at Beachdown, and people were just overwhelmingly generous, really were.
So I think that is an amazing story of how you took a simple idea, or your wife actually, by the sounds of things, took a very simple.
She had the idea, and
you've turned it into an incredible story. And the London Marathon is when? What date is the London Marathon?
It's the 26th of April.
Okay, and you're obviously running that.
I'm running that, my wife's running that, and about 15 other hatchies, as we're called.
And back to today,
yep.
You tell us about your day then, because we now know that you're obviously into running. So what happened to
so clocks went forward, which was lovely. I ran the Hampton Court Palace half marathon, which started at 9 a.m, which is quite early for a run anyway, but that was kind of 8 a.m, plus bring it back. So it was very, very early start. Picking a few friends up, drove there. The weather was supposed to be horrific. Thankfully, the rain held off. It was very, very windy, but we all got round. Got some ridiculous size medals, but it was a good day out.
So, I mean, I think your story is absolutely incredible. How you've gone from, literally not running to setting up the club, having all the members, raising the money for charity. I think it's fantastic. Where do you see the club going? And we've got a whole bunch of people in here. How would you encourage them to join you, or what can they do to join you?
The thing is, it's become a really good club in Basingstoke. I mean, we've raised over £50,000 in 2 years for various charities. We put the 100 people through Couch to 5K. We had 75 finishes at the Reading Half Marathon, which was as many as any other club in the UK. And at Basingstoke Half Marathon last year, we had 81 finishes, which was more than any club in Basingstoke. And I think that the trouble we've got now is we've got a lot of novice runners, and we need to help progress them so that we get space to bring in more. Because so we're getting leaders trained and coached and qualified from the beginners pretty much, so that they can run and help their packs.
And how often do you run your Couch to 5K type things?
We did 3 courses last year. Because we haven't done one this year yet, because of this skew of beginner runners we've got to get them up to speed. But I'd love to do another one in the summer, in the War Memorial Park.
So if anyone's thinking of joining, we will put out your details of the club up on our Facebook page. But you're also musical, because we hope you're gonna come and play, aren't you? Is that
a vicious rumour? Yes, yeah. No, I am. Yeah, I mean, and
you work full time.
Yeah. So
you've got a busy life.
I do. Yes.
Well, thank you very much for sharing that with us. We will put that information up on our Facebook page. Mark's going to hang around now, so if you've got any questions you want to ask him, and I guess we could sponsor you as well if that's...
You can. I mean, if you Google "Run for Jaden," our page will come up.
Okay. So that's supporting Children
with Cancer UK,
which is fantastic. So Mark's going to hang around here if you've got any questions you want to talk to him. And let's say, hopefully we'll have him playing at Cafe Vivo in the future. Thank you very much for coming along. Thanks for your time. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
We are going to have a short break, and then we have Mr. Ken Payne and pals coming up to play for us. Thank you very much.